Caitlin Clark just became the highest paid WNBA player in 2025, and the sound of haters grinding their teeth can be heard across the basketball world. Sportico just dropped their list of the top 15 highest paid female athletes, and Caitlin is the only WNBA player who made the cut. While certain players and their fans spent all year talking about who was really moving the needle, the money just proved who actually matters. $16 million in earnings puts Caitlin miles ahead of every other WNBA player, and the envy is instant. Arc. By the way, of the top 15 female athletes that made the list, Caitlin Clark was the only WNBA athlete that landed on the list. So that means Angel Reese was down somewhere below 10 million. Do you think Caitlin Clark deserves to be the highest paid WNBA player, or should someone else be making more money? Sportico released their annual list of the highest paid female athletes in 2025, and the results are going to make a lot of people very uncomfortable. Out of the top 15 spots on the list, only one WNBA player made the cut. Not two, not three, one. And that player is Caitlin Clark, sitting comfortably at number 6 overall with $16 million in total earnings. That means Angel Reese, who spent all season getting hyped up as Caitlin's rival, didn't even crack the top 15. That means she's making less than $10 million while Caitlin is making over $16 million. Let that sink in. Was down somewhere below $10 million. Alright, in fact, they do tell us who is number 2. Among sports-related, like actual team-oriented female athletes, number 2 is Sabrina Ionescu. But as you can imagine, Caitlin Clark was first. The list is dominated by tennis players, which makes sense because tennis has always paid well at the top. Coco Gauff leads all female athletes with $31 million. Aryna Sabalenka is right behind her with $30 million. Naomi Osaka, Serena Williams, and a handful of other tennis stars round out the top spots. There are also a couple of golfers on the list, proving that individual sports still pay better than team sports for women. But among all team sport athletes across all sports globally, Caitlin Clark is the only one who made this list. Let's talk about what that means. There are professional women's soccer leagues around the world. There are women's hockey leagues. There are women's volleyball leagues. There are softball leagues. None of those athletes made the top 15. The highest paid team sport athlete in the world among women is a WNBA player, and it's Caitlin Clark. That's not just impressive for the WNBA. That's historically significant for women's team sports in general. And it's pretty amazing, because almost all of Caitlin Clark's money is from endorsements, because she's not making hardly anything as a WNBA player. The really wild part of Caitlin's $16 million is where it comes from. Her WNBA salary was only $119,000. Let me repeat that. Out of $16 million total earnings, only $119,000 came from actually playing basketball. Everything else, $15.8 million, came from endorsements. That means Caitlin is making more money off the court than almost every other female athlete in the world is making total. Her endorsement value alone puts her in the top 10 female athletes globally. Now compare that to the narrative that certain people have been pushing all year. We've been told over and over that other players are just as valuable as Caitlin. We've been told that the attention she gets is overblown. We've been told that multiple players deserve equal credit for growing the league. But when actual companies with actual money to spend make decisions about who to invest in, they're choosing Caitlin by a massive margin. 16 million versus less than 10 million isn't close. That's domination. To crack the list is up from 6.7 million last year. So it was almost a $4 million raise among all these athletes to break the minimum. So let's just go down here. Here's Caitlin Clark right there. And you see that $16 million. So she came in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th among all female athletes. 16 million. She's the only one on here from a team-oriented sport. Almost all of it is from the endorsement list for Caitlin is ridiculous. Nike gave her a signature shoe deal that launches in 2026, making her only the third active WNBA player with a signature sneaker alongside A'ja Wilson and Sabrina Ionescu. She's got deals with Gatorade, State Farm, Wilson, Panini America for trading cards, and about a dozen other major brands. These aren't small local deals. These are national and international partnerships with companies that spend millions on athlete endorsements. They're choosing Caitlin over everyone else because she moves product and generates attention in ways other WNBA players simply don't. The salt from people who wanted Angel Reese to be on this list is absolutely delicious. All season we heard about how Angel was just as popular, how she was driving just as much interest, how she deserved equal recognition. But Sportico's list doesn't care about Twitter narratives or media hype. It cares about actual money earned, and by that measure, Angel isn't even in the same conversation. She's not second. The second highest paid WNBA player is Sabrina Ionescu, who just barely missed the top 15 at somewhere around $10 million. Angel is below that. Let's appreciate how much Caitlin has separated herself from the pack in just 1 year of full endorsement deals. Last year she made $11 million. This year she made $16 million. That's a $5 million increase year over year. Companies aren't just signing her and paying her the same amount. They're increasing their investment because she's delivering results. Meanwhile, other players are struggling to crack $10 million total, while Caitlin is approaching $20 million territory. The Nike signature shoe deal is particularly significant. Nike doesn't hand out signature shoes to just anyone. You have to be a transcendent talent with massive marketability and proven ability to sell product. In the entire WNBA, only 3 players have signature Nike shoes, and Caitlin is the newest addition to that exclusive club. That's Nike, the biggest sports brand in the world, saying that Caitlin Clark is one of the most marketable athletes they have, not just in the WNBA, among all athletes. The State Farm commercials featuring Caitlin have been everywhere. The Gatorade campaigns have been prominent. The Wilson basketball that features her sold out every single time new stock became available. These aren't products that are sitting on shelves collecting dust. What makes this particularly entertaining is how it contradicts the narrative that certain media members and fans have been pushing. We've been told that multiple players are equally responsible for the WNBA's growth. We've been told that focusing on Caitlin diminishes other players' contributions. We've been told that it's problematic to give her too much credit. But companies spending actual money don't care about those narratives. They care about return on investment, and they're investing in Caitlin at levels that dwarf what they're investing in anyone else. The fact that Caitlin is the only team sport athlete on the entire list is insane when you think about it. Women's soccer is huge globally. The U.S. women's national team players are some of the most famous female athletes in the country. Alex Morgan, Megan Rapinoe, and others have been household names for years. None of them made the top 15. Caitlin Clark, in her second year as a professional, is out-earning all of them. That's not just impressive, that's historic. The tennis players dominating the top of the list makes sense because tennis has always had the infrastructure and prize money to support high earnings. But Caitlin cracking the top 6 despite playing in a league with a salary cap that limits how much she can make from actually playing basketball is remarkable. If WNBA salaries were comparable to men's leagues, Caitlin would probably be in the top 3 on this list. Her earning potential is being held back by league economics, not by her marketability or value. Simone Biles making $11 million despite not competing regularly shows the power of Olympic fame and legacy. She's an all-time great gymnast with transcendent appeal. The fact that Caitlin is making $5 million more than Simone Biles while playing in a league that most people ignored until last year shows just how meteoric her rise has been. She's not just popular within women's basketball. She's popular across all sports and all demographics. The comparison to Sabrina Ionescu is interesting because Sabrina plays in New York, which is supposedly the biggest market in the WNBA. She plays for the defending champion Liberty. She's got brand recognition and respect around the league. And yet she's making significantly less than Caitlin, who plays in Indianapolis. Market size doesn't matter when one player is simply more marketable than everyone else. Caitlin could play in any city in the WNBA, and she'd still be making more money than any other player because companies want to be associated with her specifically. The absence of A'ja Wilson from the top 15 is also telling. A'ja is the reigning MVP. She's been the best player in the WNBA for years, by most statistical measures. She's got her own signature Nike shoe, but she's not making enough money to crack the top 15 highest paid female athletes globally. That's not a knock on A'ja, that's just reality. Endorsement money follows popularity and marketability, and Caitlin has both in quantities that no other WNBA player can match right now. Angel Reese's absence from this list is going to be hard for her fans to accept. All year we heard about double-doubles and rookie records and how she was just as important to the WNBA's growth as Caitlin. But when money talks, the story is completely different. Caitlin is making $16 million, while Angel is making less than $10 million. That $6 million gap is the market explicitly saying that one player is significantly more valuable than the other. No amount of social media engagement or selective statistics can change that. The breakdown of where Caitlin's money comes from is important too. She made $119,000 in WNBA salary and bonuses. Everything else, all $15.8 million of the remaining earnings, came from endorsements. That means her value as a basketball player is being subsidized entirely by her value as a brand and cultural figure. The WNBA is getting the benefit of having her in the league while paying her a fraction of what she's actually worth in the marketplace. Some people will try to spin this list as proof that the WNBA doesn't pay enough. And they're right. The league should absolutely pay more. But the fact remains that within the current system, Caitlin has maximized her earning potential more than any other player. She's not waiting for the league to pay her what she's worth. She's going out and getting paid by companies that recognize her value. That's smart business, and it's exactly what every player should be doing. The increase from $11 million last year to $16 million this year shows that Caitlin's value is still growing. She's not plateauing. She's not cashing in on rookie hype that will fade. She's building something sustainable that's going to keep growing as she continues to dominate on the court and expand her brand off it. By the time her next WNBA contract comes up, she's going to be in position to demand whatever maximum salary the league can offer, and it still won't be close to what she's worth. The Nike signature shoe launching in 2026 is going to be another massive moment. Signature shoes for women's basketball players have historically struggled to sell compared to men's shoes, but Caitlin's shoe is going to shatter those expectations. Everything associated with her name sells out immediately. The basketball sold out, the jerseys sold out, the shoes are going to sell out. Nike knows this, which is why they're investing in her at this level. The haters who spent all year trying to diminish Caitlin's impact are going to have a really hard time explaining this list away. You can argue about stats. You can debate about who had the better rookie season. You can make cases for other players deserving more recognition. But you can't argue with $16 million. That's the market speaking, and the market is saying that Caitlin Clark is in a completely different category from every other WNBA player when it comes to value and marketability. What's also interesting is thinking about where this goes from here. Caitlin is 22 years old. She's going to be playing basketball at a high level for at least another decade. Her earning potential is only going to increase as she wins championships, collects awards, and continues building her brand. 5 years from now, she could easily be making $30 million or more per year. That would put her in the conversation with the highest paid female athletes of all time across any sport. The fact that this is all happening in just her second year as a professional is what makes it so remarkable. Most athletes take years to build the kind of endorsement portfolio that Caitlin has already assembled. She's compressed a decade of brand building into 2 years, and she's done it while actually playing great basketball. This isn't someone who's famous for being famous. This is someone who's dominant on the court and has translated that dominance into unprecedented commercial success. The envy from people who wanted this to be anyone else is palpable. Caitlin was supposed to be overhyped. She was supposed to struggle in the professional game. Other players were supposed to catch up to her in popularity. None of that happened. Instead, she keeps separating herself from the pack in every measurable way. $16 million is just the latest piece of evidence that she's operating on a completely different level from everyone else in women's basketball. Caitlin Clark just became the highest paid WNBA player in 2025 by a massive margin, and she's the only WNBA player to crack the top 15 highest paid female athletes globally. While haters spent all year trying to convince people that other players were just as valuable, the money proved exactly who moves the needle.